Hey everyone, it's Raz from the Semi-Retired Samurai. Today I want to talk to you about a story about my mother and a recent incident that just happened as I was visiting her during the Christmas holidays. Now, my mom is 79 years old, and we always had a kind of a turbulent relationship stemming from my childhood. And I want to share with you a little surprise that happened this on this visit to her home. When I was younger, as I told you before, our family didn't have a lot of money. In fact, we were very poor, and my father was not very good with money. He made a lot of wrong decisions, and the family paid the price for it. Unfortunately, we went through some hard times, especially in 1979 when my father declared bankruptcy, and we almost lost everything. They repossessed the car, and they almost repossessed the house. And luckily, we had a little bit of money in savings, which was able to stave off the creditors. So we end up working all the time. Myself, I had to go to work at age 9 to help out. Same with my siblings. There was no days off. There's no vacations. Every day that I had off from school, we had to go down to work. A lot of back-breaking work, a lot of laborious work, often 12 to 14-hour days. It just never seemed like it was going to end. So the relationship between myself and my parents was very turbulent. I got in a lot of arguments with them. I couldn't understand why we didn't go on vacation or do the things the other kids did. Now, Christmas has always been a very, how should I say, a very negative experience for me, because I remember not having anything or a lot during Christmas. And what I remember about Christmas is we would always go over to other friends' places, excuse me, to play with their toys as they open them up, because we didn't get a hell of a lot. And also Christmas time seemed like a time that my parents would argue more about money. So it kind of reinforced what I didn't have. And I promised myself that when I got older that I was going to live like that. So there was a lot of arguments in the house. My mom and myself butted heads a lot of times. So I moved away when I was 23, just to get away from everything and to have some semblance of freedom, because I never had that before. So I always held that to my heart. The bitterness towards my parents never went away. We butted heads for a while, until the last probably 10 years, they started to treat me more as an adult than a child. But as they got older, I started to really understand that they didn't have much of a choice when I was growing up. They had to survive. They had to put food on the table. And maybe things could have been done a little bit differently, because I've had friends that have divorced parents. And I remember one friend, he never met his father before. And I asked him, well, do you ever feel left out or have less of experience growing up? And he said that his mom, even though she was a single mom, she never made him feel like he was without. Now, he wasn't spoiled or anything like that, but he said that he always made sure his mom made his life as normal as possible and gave him the upbringing of a normal family. So I felt that he was quite lucky. And I thought to myself, well, why couldn't my parents have done that? But as they got older, I start to understand, and everyone's a little bit different how they go about things. And I start working myself backwards and studying their parents, my grandparents. And I found out that they were very strict and hard on them. So they treated us what they knew best and what they learned from their parents. So while I was on this trip, my parents, who are aging now, my mom has sore knees. She doesn't like to go out a lot. She doesn't like to travel anymore because she's got aching knees. My father's got some cognitive decline, and he moves very slowly now, and he has diabetes as well. So they spend a lot of time around the house, not really going anywhere, despite having the money to do so. So these moments that I spend with them, I cherish, and I try to spend as much time as I can with them now, because I know my time with them is limited, and I don't know how many more times I'm going to get to spend Christmas with them. So even despite all the ups and downs of our relationship, we've come to this mutual respect and understanding and respect for one another. My parents were very hard, very traditional Chinese. They never told us that they loved us. They never really hugged us. But I knew, now knowing now that they really loved us. Just did in a different way. So I would actually consider my mom to be a very hard-nosed person. So what was surprising was when I returned to my hometown for Christmas a few weeks ago, I came down in the morning and I sat down at the table. And my mother sat down and started talking to me about old age and retirement, and how she said, son, old age is not fun. You don't know how hard it is, and to get up every day and to be hurting and not have the options to do the things that you used to do. For example, going grocery shopping, she would complain that she would her knees would hurt for 15 minutes, and she would have to sit down before she can walk again. So just going to the shopping mall was a chore. She used to love going shopping with my wife, and they used to go to the shopping mall no problem. So my wife asked her, Mom, do you want to go to the shopping mall today? And she said, well, no, I don't want to go. I just want to stay home, because her legs are always hurting, and she didn't feel it was worth it. So that really hit me hard, because I realized that our healthy years, our youthful senior years in our 50s, should be spent on enjoyment and maximizing life, because when we get to 65, our health starts to decline naturally for a lot of people. And so you don't know if when that time comes, when you retire at 65, are you going to be well enough to enjoy? Are you going to be well enough to hike? Are you going to be well enough to travel to all these countries and walk around? And studies show that by 66, our health really starts to decline. And so if you think about it, if we retire at 65, we only have 1 or 2 years that we can really enjoy before we start to experience some ailments that will never go away. So I feel it's very important, and it's a big reason why I decided to semi-retire a couple of years ago, and to focus on enjoying life and maximizing everything it has to offer, and do the things that I didn't get a chance to do when I was younger and working. So my mom during the conversation, which caught me off guard, she broke down and started crying, and she said, "You know, son, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you and the kids had to work so hard, and I had to work so hard, and I didn't get a chance to take you kids to vacation and to enjoy life, to experience the good things in life." And it really shocked me because my mom never said that before. And it really hit me hard and it put a tear to my eye because I realized how much guilt that she felt. And I told her, I said, you know, Mom, you don't have to worry because we all turned out well. We didn't get involved with crime, and you did the best you could. And I said, don't worry about it. We're all fine. We don't hold it against you. And she started weeping more, and she says, I know you guys are all okay, but I've been harboring this inside of me for a long time, and you don't understand. I feel so horrible about it. And I said, it's okay, Mom. You know, just enjoy your life. Take care of yourself. Take care of Dad. What we are concerned about and what we really want is for you to be healthy. And that's it. And that was the conversation. And I'm hoping that what she gets out of it is some peace and closure and not to harbor that guilt, because as an elderly senior parent, I hope that their only thoughts is and goal is to enjoy the rest of their lives because they deserve it. So that was really a shock and a heavy moment in my life, and I don't know if she came out and apologized for my childhood is due to the fact that she is 79 and will be turning 80, and I guess maybe she might be realizing that the window is closing and want to tell me that. There's a book that I read recently called Die with Zero, an excellent book, and it just reinforces everything that I believe in about retiring early and maximizing your youthful senior years. And in the book, he talks about that we die many times in our lifetime in phases, and we only get to we only get to be a child once in our life, and once that window closes, that's it. And for myself, I'll never get back that childhood, no matter how much money I make, no matter how much money I can receive from my parents down the road. It's not going to make up for it. So the moral of the story is to make sure that if you're a parent or a child or any phase in your life, is to create awesome memories. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be going to the lake, going for a walk, just spending time with family and creating those memories that will last forever. Because nobody looks back upon their life and say, wow, I'm so glad I bought those 5 luxury cars. They look back at the times that you spend with one another, the memories that you shared. When I look back at my competition record and the times I competed at martial arts tournaments, I don't even look at the medals. The medals sit in a box somewhere in my drawer. I don't think about it. But what I think about is the memorable moments that I spent with my teammates, the training, the laughter that we had, the team bonding, and being in a different city, and sharing those shared goals. And those are the things I remember the most. So when you're going through life, take advantage of those moments. You have your youth, your childhood, you have your young adult years, And you have, like me, I'm in my 50s, so my youthful senior years. And I plan to take full advantage of that and make sure that I have no regrets when the day I go. As far as the parents go, my parents, well, what can I say? I mean, they did the best they can. We didn't have any money. We were desperate. We were a family of 4 kids, and we all need to eat. There was stressful moments. My parents fought all the time about finances till 4 a.m. in the morning many times. And we would stay awake in bed, unable to sleep and to get up 8 o'clock in the morning to go to school, which was tough because you see other kids going to school and they seem to have everything that we didn't have. And so now, what am I waiting for? Why am I going to save all this money and do nothing with it? So the time is now for me to enjoy, and I hope that this lesson and this story from my mother and my experience will help motivate you and inspire you to get the best out of life, whether it's to travel, whether it's to reach out to that friend you haven't seen for a long time, spend more time with family, get together with a friend to have dinner, or to even climb a mountain, pick up a new activity. All these things that add to your memories will serve you better than just accumulating all this money and just to brag that you have a high net worth, which nobody really cares about in the end, right? So tell me a little bit about your life. Does this story inspire you? Comment below. Let me know if you face similar circumstances as myself growing up. Challenging times, challenging circumstances, and how that has shaped your life. Did it shape you in a negative way, in a positive way? Were you bitter about it? And did you turn that challenge into something positive that you can use today to better your life and get more enjoyment out of life? So if you like my story today and my lesson, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye for now.